Half a day and welcome to the Chamber Member Spotlight Podcast, where we feature one of our many small business members, the backbone of our island community. They provide much needed services and products, employ our residents, pay taxes, and give back to our community in a number of ways. We're so glad you joined us today. My name is Catherine Castro, your host for the Chamber Member Spotlight Podcast. We're excited to feature our member Biba, represented today by Ranger and Dot Miller, founders of Biba. Half a day and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having us. We're super excited to be here.
Excellent. Half a day. You know, we are super excited to have you and have you talk to us about Biba. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Tell us what is the inspiration and how you got started and when you opened your doors.
Sure. So I think it really started with Ranger's band. So Ranger's a pilot, but he's also a garage rock musician for years, and his band played at Old Traditions. And so Old Traditions had been for sale, and we ended up buying it. You know, his band was playing there. We ended up buying it, and
Actually,
we
had
wanted
a mutual friend that talked us into
yes,
it.
he did. Halsey talked us into it. But we wanted to make it a local flavor, right? Old Traditions was a German bar, and we wanted to really put a local flair on it. So we went and bought a Chamorro English dictionary, and we said, let's come up with a Chamorro word. And so we went through something fun, something that meant yes, yay,
something was much more local.
Yeah.
Old Traditions was interesting because it was owned by the two German people that we know on Guam. I don't know how many German people we know on Guam, but Regina started it and she was German, and then she sold it to Lutz and he was German. So it was authentic for them to own a German bar. But when we took it over, it was like not authentic for two people from Colorado to own a German bar in Guam. So we wanted to pick something that was much more local flavor. And so we found, and it was Liberation. It was right around Liberation.
Right around
and everybody
Liberation
was
Day
saying like Biba Guaha, Biba Chamorro.
Yeah.
So we were like, Biba's cool.
right.
Yeah. Biba kind of catches the
essence maybe
of
zeitgeist.
Right?
Yeah, it really was. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. And so you guys opened your doors
October 1st of 2024. Yeah. We bought it in September. We spent 2 weeks remodeling the inside. We brought in local artist Joshua Barragata to paint a mural on the inside behind the stage. We really wanted local flavor inside, and so he did that. And then we wanted a selfie wall, and so he painted a Biba Guam selfie wall on another wall as well. So
very cool.
The art is great. You should, for no other reason, you should come down to Biba to check out our art on the walls. It's beautiful. It's a Chamorro woman singing into a microphone, and then it has some other musical ideas mixed in. It's cool.
Very
cool.
nice.
Super proud of our stage.
Awesome. So what is a typical night at Biba? So if somebody's looking to, hey, why would I go to Biba? What would you tell them?
Sure. So we open every day at 5. We're open 7 days a week. It was important for us to be open every day because if you want to celebrate something, or if you're just having a day, or if you got something that you got to get out, we wanted to be there for you. So we opened every day at 5. So some nights there's dancing, live music, pro-am jam, karaoke. We've got something going on in the evenings, but we're open every day at 5 to serve.
People in Guam love to dance.
Yes.
You guys have a really thriving dance community.
Yes, we all love to dance.
We did not know that, but we have found out. So they have, first thing, we invited in the Latin community that they do salsa and bachata. And so they came in early on like a Tuesday, and they said, if you give us a Friday, we'll pack this place. So we gave them Friday, sure enough. Fridays are packed with salsa and bachata. Then some of those dancers dance all kinds of different dances, right? So some of those dancers asked us if we had a night where they could dedicate to West Coast Swing. So then we said, yeah, come in and do West Coast Swing. So now they do West Coast Swing on Tuesdays. Then some of those dancers asked us, there's not much country dancing around. Could we have a country and line dancing night? And so we said, sure, pick a night. So now country and line dancing is on Thursdays. So Tuesday, West Coast Swing. Thursday, country line dancing, and Friday salsa and bachata and cha-cha.
Very cool.
And then Wednesday night is Pro-Am Jam, so any musician that wants to play can come down and play with Ranger starting at 8 o'clock. And then on Saturday night, we have live music. So that just leaves Sunday and Monday. We turn on karaoke and we're like, get up on the stage and show us your stuff.
Amen. Yeah, that is so cool.
Yeah, it's fun. So I love music. I live for music. I have been a garage rock musician my whole life. And it's so fun. Wednesdays are super fun because you just get a group of people who might walk through the door, maybe never have jammed together before. And next thing you know, we're singing songs together and putting music together.
It's
and then
really fun.
I love that.
Saturday night is usually my band, although we have a lot of good bands from the local area too. We have the M80s, the amazing M80s, all the way from the Tahiti Rama days. And we have the Whatnots, and we have Wildcock. And the
Island
Trichomes,
Pulse.
Island Pulse. Yeah, there's a lot of fantastic musicians on Guam.
And we're always welcoming new bands and new musicians too. We love to do events. So trivia night once a month. We love to do comedy, like an amateur comedy night. We'd love to do slam poetry. We are open for anything. We even talked to UOG saying, "Hey, your improv group, you want a stage?" We are open to anything.
During Christmas, we had a quartet of strings come in and do a night of Christmas carols. That was super cool.
That is so cool.
And then we also had during Oktoberfest, we had the Sveti Liederhosen come in and play Oompa music.
Yes. We're open for anything.
We're open for anything, man.
Well, I heard that you guys were
creative.
like every weekend were booked, like during the holidays. Tell us about that. How did you just open and all of a sudden you're like booked? That's neato.
So we opened October 1st, and when people saw that, we're not going to charge you an event fee, bring in your own food. Now we don't close to the public, so we're always open to the public. But if you come in and have your party at 6 or 7 o'clock at night, you start your holiday party, you're pretty much going to be the only one in there. So come on in, bring your own food. We're not going to charge you a fee. It's just, whatever the cash bar is, whatever people want to buy. But we were booked every Friday and Saturday night from Thanksgiving to January. People even spilled into January because they couldn't get a Friday or Saturday. It is June, and I'm already booking holiday parties.
Wow.
Not even kidding.
Wow. Thank you for letting us know. So
yes, so book it now.
Book it now, everybody.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Christmas parties are always fun.
So when you're doing so you said that you allow for people to do fundraisers there. So how does that work?
So we do a different kind of fundraiser at Biba. So a lot of people are used to buying or selling drink tickets, and then you have a split with a bar. We don't do that. Okay. I spent years raising money for nonprofits. So we do it a little different. We have the availability for you to sell sponsorships to your fundraiser. Have people, and I help you with the levels. If you think you can sell a table for $50, let's fill it up for that, or $100. So you sell sponsorships. So maybe it's $100 for a table. Maybe somebody wants to sponsor the VIP for $250, the stage for $2,500, the pool table for $500, the dartboard, the bar. So everything is sponsorable. Everything. I've said that my whole life.
And then you get your logo on
Yeah,
there.
you get your logo. Every sponsor. So I print logos for everybody. I put them on every table. You can sponsor the charging station. You can sponsor the bathroom, right? Everybody goes there.
Right.
So you get all these sponsorships, and then you bring in your own food, and you sell a ticket to the event. What that ticket gets you is your, if you're doing a raffle, you can do a raffle ticket, but it also gets you a meal, right? So it doesn't get you a drink. We don't mess with drink. We don't, nobody's trading money. All the money that you raise, you keep. And so some of these nonprofit organizations, and I don't want to name them just for the confidentiality, but some of these have goals of $2,500. They raise $4,000, $4,500. Some nonprofits have raised $6,500.
Wow.
And we're not giving away free drinks, and we're not losing the profit of the drink, and you're not selling a drink tank to somebody that doesn't drink at all, right? They have a lovely, fun fundraiser, games, whatever you want to do.
Usually do some kind of a raffle.
They have some sort of a raffle. They have food.
Get some people to donate some stuff, and then the ticket that you buy that'll get you your food, then it'll also enter you in the raffle. And then you can buy extra tickets for the raffle. You usually have some fun stuff to give away, spa days or
So it's
works out
really
great.
fun. They make
and
a lot
we're
of
very
money.
involved in it, and we'll even pony up too. We'll
Yeah,
help
cool.
out.
Me
Like
too.
we might buy a dish or bring a dish or help you out with your food. So we're part of it. We're definitely
That is
involved in your fundraising.
that is neato.
Yeah, it's
I
a
love
blast.
it. So, you guys are known for your drinks as well. What is the drink to have at Biba?
Okay.
Depends on who you ask.
Alright.
If you ask Dot, well, go ahead. What's your
Alright.
famous drink, Dot?
So people ask us for martinis and old fashions because we make just an incredible either a gin or vodka martini, and then our old fashions, spot on. But Ranger,
Top of the line. I mean, they're smoked and everything. Like you get she pulls the top off and the smoke billows out while she squeezes the orange over the top.
yeah, we don't mess around.
It's
Take this very seriously.
And then my favorite thing is we call it a Guam mule. It's a Moscow mule, but switch it up a little bit. It has some fresh fruit mashed in the bottom, and then make a Moscow mule, and then we add a little bit of cranberry sauce and some special other things. And it's got your island flavor to it.
And we love local. We're all things local, you know. Chamber of Commerce roots here. So we carry all of our beer on tap is local breweries. So we carry the Carabao ginger beer on tap. So a lot of our non-alcoholic beverages have the ginger beer. So you can either get with or without alcohol in that Guam mule.
Very cool.
And if you get a beer, tap beer at Biba, it comes in a Lottie Stone glass.
Yes.
We have Lottie Stone glasses.
Neat.
Yeah.
That is neat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned briefly that you come from a Chamber of Commerce background, right? So tell us a little bit about what is the history behind Dot and Ranger?
Oh, that came from a
It
chamber.
comes from the
Yes.
chamber and also from a fundraiser.
Yes. So I was a Chamber of Commerce president in Arvada, Colorado, and Ranger was running a festival in Colorado. It had started in a bar, and he wanted to make it bigger. He'd outgrown several venues, so he wanted to turn it into a street festival. So a friend of his said, well, if you really want to make this big, you should go see Dot over at the chamber, and she'll help you get more sponsors and bring the
Expand it.
mayor out, expand it, and make it bigger. So he came down and he introduced the festival, and you know, we've been together ever since. And that's really, our roots are both fundraising. We are both the heart and soul of let's help nonprofits wherever we can.
Very nice. So how did you guys choose Guam?
It was that was mostly through United Airlines because it came up as a job availability.
Yeah.
So we looked at it and I was like, wow, there's a captain seat available in Guam. We had to get out the atlas and look up Guam.
We didn't know where it was.
I kind of knew where it was, but I didn't really know where it was.
And when we wanted to maybe be here for 6 to 8 months, right? We would come and live the island life for a year. But we fell in love with this island. We fell in love with the people and the culture. And we didn't want to leave. We never want to leave. So we sold
People
our
here
house
are
back
so nice.
there. Yes.
It is fantastic. We love it here.
Yeah, that's one of the things that, made me come back home, right? Was just the whole familia, right? And I think that, I've come from a very, very small family, but I feel like I have a big family, right? And the friends and the people that live on Guam, there's so much hospitality in Afat Malik. I mean, it's just a great place to have family. It's a great place to live, work, and play. So I absolutely agree with you.
And everything is intertwined. So we go out to eat probably too much. But we go out to eat so much that all of our friends where we go out to eat, all of the people who serve us are all our buddies. So then when they get off work, they come down to Biba and they have a drink. And it's cool, man, because everybody knows each other. It's so fun when we see them walk around the corner and come through the door. And then the people that we play tennis with, and the people that I fly with, and the people that we meet just from having a bar. All the people that a lot of contractors and stuff like that. Like last year at Christmas time, there were always a lot of contractors here, and they're a long way from their family. So we had a Christmas party for contractors last year, and we just had turkey and mashed potatoes and stuffing and everything for about 20 of those guys who were living in hotels. And it was really cool because they were away from their families. So they got to have a little feeling like family.
I love that.
I know, that's
Very
Guam
nice.
for you.
Yes,
Like everywhere
sure.
you go, everybody's family.
Yeah. And I think it's also your personality too. I think that, you know, your outreach and your hospitality, bringing Biba to life, right, adds definitely to making people feel like family. So I
we
think
love
that's just so wonderful. So what are some of the feedback, right? Like, you know, you get people that come in and out of your venue, right? Have people given you feedback that has maybe shaped or improved the experience at Biba?
I think that's where all the dancing came in. You know, so originally we had live music. We first opened the doors, live music Tuesday to Saturday. But people, you know, weren't coming out as much on Tuesdays and Friday. And then we got Latin night on Tuesday. And they say, come on Friday. So we turned Latin night into Friday. And that is by far our biggest night, right? And then more and more dancing. So we just kept adding dancing in. And anytime we have dancing, we pay an instructor. So if you don't know how to line dance, we have an instructor there. So come on down and line dance and let Brittany teach you, or let Alex and Audrey teach you on Friday night how to, you know, Latin dance. So it's fun. And I think that's a lot of the feedback.
Yeah.
What are the feedback?
Some of the feedback that we get are people really enjoy the atmosphere, and they like the fact that we keep the music at a level that does not knock you over.
Yes.
We have really good music in there all the time, but you can carry on a conversation also.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
that is
people
neat.
love that.
Yeah.
People of a certain age, let's say that.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I feel like I'm one of those people, right? Like I
Same.
love to go into, you know, someplace and have a really nice time, but I also want to have a conversation with the people
Yes.
that I'm with,
Yeah.
right? And so sometimes you have to wait for the break in order for you to have like an actual conversation. So that's really cool.
We try to keep it at a good level.
Yeah.
Even when there's
Excellent.
live music in there, we try to keep it at a level that everybody can enjoy.
You're small business owners, right? So what are some of the challenges? You know, I mean, especially because there's so much like different things that are going on, right, at Biba, right? What are some of the challenges that you guys have come across, and how do you overcome that?
So I think keeping it fresh is what we need to do. So with our clientele, local and contractors and pilots and even young people that come out, I think people don't party every single night like they used to. You know, before COVID, you really see the before COVID and after, right? Post-COVID is real. There were some changes. And so people just aren't going out every single night, partying all the time. Well, we need that, right? We're a bar. So I think that's one of the challenges is people just don't go out as often. So our challenge is to get even more people through our door, more numbers, different people all the time, so that we can continue to have, you know, that positive cash flow.
The other part of it is getting people to know that we're here.
Yeah.
A lot of people they just don't know we exist.
Right.
We have had a lot of people walk by, come in and say, wow, I never knew this was here. I've walked by here 1,000 times, didn't know it was here. So just getting the word out, really.
Right. Yeah.
Getting
Well,
people to know that we're here.
hopefully, you know, this will help, right? This podcast
we
and
really
podcast.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Always awesome to be part of a vibrant community of a business community.
Right.
People that support each other.
Yeah,
So,
and that's what I appreciate.
Thanks for
Like
having us.
you were looking at Guam, and one of the first things you did is come and see us out here at the chamber.
Very first. You
And
were the
I
first person
love
we
that.
met.
Yeah.
I thought that
Yeah.
was so cool because and maybe you can tell our listeners like why would it be important to come to a chamber of commerce?
Let me tell you something. When I was very first a business owner, I was a chamber member. And back then, I joined the chamber because way back then, you could save money on your work comp insurance. And I had 30 employees. So I joined that. But then I got involved in a business after hours. And really, that year, my business grew 14%. And I attribute it wholeheartedly to the chamber and my involvement with the chamber. Because, you know, it wasn't the kind of business that you could just market and bring people through the door. It was a relationship. You had to have relationships with people. So my business grew from it. And then when I became a Chamber of Commerce president, I just watched people's business succeed. I was a Chamber of Commerce president in 2008 when there was a recession, and how many businesses survived from that chamber and the relationships that they built. And so for us, that's very important. And that's why you were my first call when going into business. Hey, you know, got to be a member of the chamber.
Yeah, that was great. And I'm glad that we were able to continue that relationship and to see you guys open Biba. That was so exciting. And I was so happy to see that. I wanted to ask you, there's folks that are listening to this podcast and are thinking, I really want to open my own business. Like, what advice would you give to somebody interested in doing something like that?
Talk to your local chamber.
Right.
That is a wealth of information.
Absolutely.
Start there, but go for it.
You have the resources, and for me, it's all about just knowing where you're going to be 3 to 5 years down the road. You've got this great idea right now, and you're passionate about it right now, but is that passion still going to be there 3 to 5 years down the road? And if it is, jump in with both feet and use your resources, ask the questions, and just know who your strategic partners are to be successful.
By going down to the chamber and talking with people who've done it before, you can come up with a good business plan, which will allow you to succeed. Because that's a huge part of it, is make sure you actually have a good business plan. Where's the money going to come from? How much money is it going to cost in that first year? Are you going to be able to make it through that first tough year where you don't make any money? And then are you going to get on to the years where you actually are having fun with it? And that's going to come straight from your chamber.
And make some friends
people
too.
Have done that. Yeah.
Like Thomas at Live House he helped us out a ton. So you've got a bar down the road, and people think competition, no, collaboration.
Definitely.
We called Thomas because I've always made drinks. I never measured drinks. I've never priced drinks. Are these prices right? Are they compatible? How should the liquor be on the shelves? Like, I have no idea, right? And Thomas really helped us out in the beginning.
Everybody did.
Yeah.
What a great community of people. Yeah.
And that's what I love about Guam too, is that we all help each other, right?
Yeah.
Because if you succeed, I succeed.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
Sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I truly appreciate this time that we have together. Do you have any parting words for our listening audience?
I think the only thing that I would add is, when you come down to Biba, you're also giving back to your community. So we give 10% of all of our profits to nonprofit organizations. We give 10% of our profit to nonprofits in the Guam community. So if you spend your money with Biba, it's going back into the community.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So if you have a charity in the local area, come talk to us too, because we're always looking for good places to give that money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But most of all, just come down and visit us.
We're fun.
You are. You are. Well, thank you so much, Ranger and Dot. We learned so much, and it was such a pleasure to spend time with you today, and we truly appreciate all of the recommendations and the outlooks that you have and what it takes to run and operate a small, sustainable business. We encourage our residents to support our small businesses just like Biba that make a big difference in our community. I'd like to thank our listeners for tuning in and listening to today's show. We encourage you to drop a note, to share your comments on this episode, or visit our website or social media platforms. We truly appreciate your feedback. We look forward to having you back on the Chamber Member Spotlight podcast again soon. All podcasts are currently available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, so give them all a listen. This is your host, Catherine Castro. Until next time, take good care and make it a great day, Guam.